Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to medical coding anatomy, where we will be mainly discussing about the second type of sensory receptor that comes under a classification 2, which is based on the location in the body. So mainly we are going to talk about what is interoceptor and what is visceroceptors. Okay. So we will discuss this in a very detailed way. Firstly, I'll explain you the definition of interoceptors. Then we will see how it is like how it really works and all the overall process like workflows and everything that we will be discussing here in this series. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on interoceptor. But prior to that, you should know what is sensory receptor and the other types that we have already covered under classification 1, right? So you should know about these things. If you really know about those things, then things would be much more easier, because they all are connected with each other. Today also, like whatever terminology we are going to discuss here will be somehow related to the previous sessions. Okay, that's why it is so important to follow the series in sequential way. And for that, what you can do, you can also refer the Tech Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find thousands of sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can easily consume the content. And in case if you have any queries or questions related to that, you can simply reach out to me through comment section, where I can try my best to answer your questions. Okay. Alright, so let's get started and see what is interoceptors. So definition wise, it's very simple and straightforward. So interoceptors are just a sensory receptor located inside the body within the internal organ, blood vessel, glands and body fluids, which basically detect the stimuli arising from the internal environment of the body and convert them into nerve impulses that are sent to the brain to maintain stable internal conditions. Clear? In other simple words, you can say that they are just a internal monitoring system. Okay, why? Because they work silently and continuously. Okay, so most of the time even we don't get the conscious awareness of it. Okay, because it keeps the track of everything happening inside by their own. Okay, so you can say that interoceptor is something that keeps interoceptors are the sensory receptor that keep tracking everything happening inside the body and reporting it timely to the brain, so that the body can make automatic adjustment to stay healthy and balanced. That's the overall process of this sensory receptor interoceptors. Okay, now they are also known as visceroceptors. So always remember, sometime in interview they might ask you what is visceroceptor, so you don't get confused. Visceroceptor are nothing but an interoceptor itself. This is just an alternative name of it. And why it is given? Because they are the largely found in viscera, which means internal body internal organs of the body. Clear? Fine. Now the word intro is basically coming from the Latin that means inside. So interoceptor literally means inside the receptors. Now we know what is interoceptor. It's time to understand the location of interoceptors. Like what are the locations of interoceptor? So location wise, like we have like here you can see we have one column for location, another one is for the what is being monitored. So location wise, we have walls of blood vessel that mainly monitor the blood pressure and blood flow. We have carotid and aortic body, which monitor blood oxygen, carbon dioxide and pH level. Then we have medulla oblongata brainstem, which mainly monitor the carbon dioxide and pH of cerebrospinal fluid. Then we have hypothalamus, which mainly monitor the blood osmotic pressure and blood glucose and blood core temperature. After that we have walls of stomach intestine, which basically stretch fullness of the digestive system. Walls of urinary bladder stretch the fullness of bladder. Walls of uterus stretch during the labor and delivery. Walls of lungs stretch during the breathing, inflation and deflation. Heart walls and great veins, blood pressure and blood volume returning to the heart. After that we have muscles and joint. Some overlap with the proprioceptors for deep internal sensation. Okay, so these are the just internal structures of the body, like which tells us location and what being monitored there. Now we will see what do interoceptor detect basically. So interoceptors monitors the complete internal state of the body. So to explain this thing, what I did, like I created 3 columns here. First is for internal stimulus, second is for type of interoceptors, and third is location. So let's see one by one. First is blood pressure changes. So for that we use interoceptor baroreceptors, and the location is carotid, sinus or aortic arc. Next is blood oxygen level, peripheral chemoreceptors, carotid body and aortic body. Then we have blood, carbon dioxide and pH, central chemoreceptors, medulla oblongata. Then we have blood osmotic pressure, osmoreceptor, hypothalamus. Next is blood glucose level, glucoreceptors, hypothalamus. Next is core body temperature, which use the receptor, internal thermoreceptor, hypothalamus. Next is stomach and intestine stretch receptor, stomach and intestinal walls. Next is bladder fullness stretch receptor, and these all are the mechanoreceptors type. Okay, so bladder wall. Similarly for uterine, we have uterine stretch receptor, uterine wall. Lung inflation stretch receptor, lung walls. Internal pain, nociceptors, and nociceptor is also known as pain receptor. So most internal organs there. And then we have blood volume returning to the heart, cardiopulmonary receptor, right atrium and great veins. So I think this table will give you the idea of like what do interoceptors detects. Now the next thing is how basically it works, because we know what is interoceptor, we know where it is located and what it interocept, but the question is how basically it works. So I have explained the working in 5 steps only. First step, where internal stimuli basically occurs. So whatever change happens in the body, like blood pressure rises, blood flow, blood oxygen falls, or bladder fills with urine. So all these are considered as internal stimulus occurring. Okay. Step 2, interoceptor detect the change. Okay, so interoceptor, like we know there is a specific interoceptor designed for that stimulus detect. Okay, so it detects, for example, baroreceptors in the carotid sinus detect the rise of the blood pressure. Then after that, in step number 3, transduction occurs, where the interoceptor converts the stimulus into an electrical nerve impulse. In step 4, nerve impulse travels to the brain. The impulse travels through the visceral afferent nerve fibers carried within the autonomic nervous system pathways to brain stem of the hypothalamus. And at the last stage, 5th stage, brain processes the signal, and most of the time signals are processed in brainstem or hypothalamus below conscious awareness. The brain automatically sends the corrective signals through the autonomic nervous system to restore normal internal condition. And then we have a third thing that says some signals reach cerebral cortex, producing conscious sensation like hunger, thirst, pain or bladder fullness. So this is the entire working of the interoceptors. In the next session we will discuss few more things, but before that you should know about these 2 types that we have already covered. And to remember these concepts for longer, what you can do, you can relate it like this. So just relate your interoceptor with the internal CCTV system, where cameras are placed deep inside the every organ and blood vessel. They monitor everything happening inside the body. They report to the control room, which is brainstem or hypothalamus. The control room makes automatic adjustment, mostly without telling you unconscious. Occasionally they alert you directly: hunger, thirst, pain, bladder fullness, or consciousness. So these all comes under a system. Okay, so overall we know that inter is internal, which is inside the body. So I hope this session is clear to all of you, and in next session we will discuss new things. But before that, you have to answer this question in comment section. And remember, like, if you don't respond to these questions, that means you are not learning or following the series, and in that case, like, I will not proceed with the further series sessions. So if you really want new sessions, so make sure that you answer these questions, because when you comment it down, it gives me the notification, and then only I got to know that you guys are learning or following the series, and then only I will release the further sessions. Because commenting down answer will also help others to learn the concepts. So make sure you comment it in timely manner, and we will see more sessions in the upcoming series. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching TechSharmat.